The legal context of the word black is a problem for some people in the community. We've heard guys like Kanye West say he's not black, Waka Flocka say he's not black. Most recently, Trick Daddy went viral for saying something similar. So, what's the whole issue with this word? I'm never surprised when I hear people say this because I've been around the black intelligence community for over a decade, and a lot of my brothers say this as well. So, I know the exact legal doctrine that these brothers get exposed to that make them say things like this. My question is that legal doctrine losing relevance in 2024 within the context of black liberation? Let me answer that for you. The answer is definitely yes, it is losing relevance in the context of black liberation. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. I'm going to give you a quick short answer, then I'm going to give you a longer detailed answer on the whiteboard. All right, so let's start with the short answer. The reason that legal doctrine is losing relevance in context of black liberation is because this website is here now, adveb.org. It stands for the African Diaspora Voters Education Board. You see the symbol right there. Boom. Okay, so the reason this website makes that legal doctrine lose relevance in context of black liberation is because it basically breaks up like 100-year monopoly. What does that mean? It means that for 100 years, right, roughly 100 years, that legal doctrine was literally the liberation ritual according to the laws in America. We as black people were classified as property. And then once again, when the Social Security thing came around and the birth certificates was even a whole nother level of property, right? But at that point in time, there was a legal doctrine that allowed one to correct its status or their status, right? To become human beings again, right? And so that is what that legal doctrine for about 100 years attempted to give our people, our entire community, a pathway to becoming human in the eyes of law, right? And it comes from a good place. So we're not gonna talk down on it per se, right? But we're going to expose the truth of the matter is that that's no longer the only way. And because it's a cultural, traditional thing of that being the only way, many people in our community still think and believe that is the only way. However, what this website does is it breaks that monopoly up because it introduces the concept of a globally recognized voter registration drive for the African diaspora. Now, let's just read these two paragraphs. It says, soon the African Diaspora Voters Education Board shall introduce the African Diaspora National Registry System, a platform designed for voter registration in the first ever national election of the African diaspora. This historic election will establish official leadership that will be recognized by the international community and governments around the world. Nice. Digital system convenience. The National Registry will initially function as a voter registration system, then transform into a national skills database, and eventually evolve into a digital legislature. Once it completes this evolution, the African diaspora government will begin its lawmaking process, establishing the laws and requirements for citizens to run for elections and campaign. Okay, nice. So look at this. It says our mission is to foster awareness and digital participation in the inaugural national election for the African diaspora. The success of our efforts will usher in a globally recognized government administration with independent jurisdictional powers for Black Americans and the entire African diaspora. We're calling on all stakeholders with substantial marketing resources to unite with the African Diaspora Voters Education Board and spread the word about this historic election. Of course, and they should. Everyone who has a voice in the community should definitely raise awareness about an election that's exclusively for our people. Okay, so let's be very clear. What this just said, this is pushing forth a system that's going to initiate an exclusively black election season just for Black people in America and the African diaspora. Okay, that will create a government, a exclusively Black government that is exclusively for our best interests, our interests only. That's what that government, that's what is being created right here, a globally recognized government. Okay. Now, let me just show you why they say globally recognized. Let's get a better understanding of those two words, globally recognized. Why is this system going to be globally recognized? Well, the history of the African diaspora will show this to you. Okay. It starts off in 1963 with the Organization of African Unity. This is the actual organization that empowered us, right? And made this possible to correct our status very quickly. Of course, Brother Malcolm X heard about that grand news back in that time. He was alive, so he went there. He met with them. They told him basically to do what this website is doing. When he started doing it, they killed him. Okay, so it's done now. Long story short, all the presidents in Africa amended the treaty, recognized us first in this treaty right here, 2003, May 25th. There was one brother from America. We call him now Sipiwe Baleka, brother from Chicago. He was the only African American witness to that historic amendment to the Constitution for the OAU at that time. And of course, those presidents kept putting a bunch of legislation and law and international law recognizing us 2006, 2008. You know what I'm saying? They put a bunch of legislation in over the years. And then suddenly this day right here, May 25th, 2012, 80 countries, all those presidents in Africa went and gathered up all the presidents in the Caribbean. They gathered all the presidents in South America, you know what I'm saying, and got all those presidents to recognize us as well. And they issued the Declaration of the Global African Diaspora, okay, May 25th, 2012. Okay, so that monopoly that system had for 100+ years is now not the only one. Is now broken up. So now there's two ways to correcting your status. One doing it the individual way and one doing it the collective way as an entire community of 350 million people at a time. Okay, now let's look at the long answer. I put on a whiteboard presentation for y'all. The word black, we're going to look at it in the context of American law, international law, and having a new country and ancient etymology. Let's start with American law because this is where our brothers got that doctrine from, right? So our brothers did a very great job of knowing American law. They went thoroughly into it, right? And the instrument that they use is what they call the Black's Law Dictionary. Now, the first thing to know about Black's Law Dictionary is it does not have the force of law. However, there is some words in there that we had issues with, right? Which was, first of all, colored. Now, the first definition of colored is appearance, semblance, or simulacrum, a Latin word, as distinguished from that which is real. So it's basically artificial, something that appears to be something, but it is not. You know what I'm saying? It resembles something, but it's not, right? And then the second definition of colored in the Black's Law Dictionary is dark color of the skin, showing presence of Negro blood equivalent to African descent, right? Now, what is Negro? Negro is a black man, one descendant from the African race, a person of color. Now, that might be an issue for somebody, right? Now, black. Now, it's good to know that black, the actual word black itself, does not have a definition in the Black's Law Dictionary, right? But it is used in the definition of Negro, right? So, and it is used interchangeably with Negro and also colored. You see what I'm saying? Now, that is where the confusion, right, can come in because this color could be interpreted to be this color right here. And in practice, when we actually go back and observe its history, it seems as if for real they was treating us as if, you know, we were not real people, right? Because in fact, that's what they were doing. We were not real people. And I'm showing y'all why this doctrine came about and why people push this so hard, because that's all we've known. That's the only path to correcting our humanity. You know what I'm saying? For 100 years. So this is deeply ingrained in the Black American community when it comes to those who know and who have studied, right? Okay, boom. So no issues. Now you know why people say that, because no one wants to be misconstrued as someone who is not real, someone who's not a real person. When you go for justice, you want to be given justice according to your rights that you have inherently as a human being. No argument there. But however, boom, the world is bigger than just America, right? And that's one thing we got to understand. We now have a body of law. Before Noble Drew Ali brought this doctrine, right, and inspired brothers to create this doctrine, right, there was not something that was called international law, right? 50, 60 years later came what we call international law. So what you need to know about international law, this is where Malcolm X wanted us to focus on. He thought we was focusing too much on American law, and that brothers and sisters needed to focus on international law, right? And he was correct. And as soon as he started doing that, they killed him. I wonder why. Maybe he was doing the right thing. Huh? Okay, so now this is what we need to know about the word colored in international law. There is no legal definition for colored in international law. There's no connection to being artificial, in international law. It is accepted as a term associated with the race or ethnicity of somebody, Negro. There is no legal definition in international law for Negro. It has no connection to being artificial, and it is accepted as a term associated with race or ethnicity. Black has no legal definition in international law. It has no connection to being artificial, and it is accepted as a term associated with race and ethnicity. Okay, so be very clear. American law is not international law, And what the Voters Education Board, the process that they have now put out there for us, brings us into this domain right here. It takes us out of this, and it brings us here in a way that's recognized by, as I showed you, over 80 countries already. Everybody accepts that we are here. We're human beings now. The world has us here. Now they view us as this, but many of our people don't know, so they still view us as this. If we say this, they think this immediately, and rightfully so, because it takes time. I mean, you got to give them, a break. This is new information. Okay, but let me let y'all know, this is where we are now. This is where we was 100 years ago, even 30 years ago. We was here. Now we are here. We're an international community now. We're recognized as a community of human beings in international law now. I showed you the legislation. Now, let's take you a step further now. We got that. Okay, boom. Y'all understand. We not here. We now here. Okay, so we made a little bit of progress. Okay, now I'm going to show y'all the next level of progress. This one is called the new country. So if we do what the ADVEB, what the African Diaspora Voters Education Board is telling us to do, which is have an election, it will create a new country. In fact, we'll be the 5th largest country in the entire world. We will be a super country, a superpower, global power. Okay. So now, because we will be a new country, there are actually no legal terms existing in this country that the African Diaspora Voters Education Board is telling us to create. All the laws are yet to be created. So that means there is no fictitious, artificial people in this new country. Colored people, the word color in this new country can mean whatever we decide it means. Black can mean whatever we decide it means. Negro can mean whatever we decide it means. There are no legal experts here because this new country doesn't exist yet. We have to have an election first. We have to elect a government administration first. So none of these brothers who are very astute and studied over here, none of them and nothing they say is relevant here in the context of what my last few videos are about. So when you see them in the comments talking about all of this, that means they're stuck in a dimension. They're stuck in a timeline. They're stuck in a loop. They are trapped. They cannot see beyond this line right here. They think this is the only world that they live in. You see, that's the problem. That's what this video is here to do, to help usher them in, break them out, crack the dome so they can see, oh, there's a world outside of the world that I've known. Okay? Everything in the path that we're directing our people is brand new. It's fresh. This is where you want to be as a people. One national election gets us here. How do we get here? By holding our first national election. pushing the African Diaspora Voters Education Board, joining forces, all the people with voices joining forces to push this awareness and push the voter registration drive, make sure millions of people register to vote in the first national election exclusively for Black people in America in the African diaspora, to create this, a brand new slate, a fresh slate. And it's an innovative strategy that they put forward. Even Donald Trump has taken some of that strategy and implemented it in what he plans to do. That's how innovative this strategy is. Y'all saw that thing where he said you can nominate people and to be a part of the cabinet. That comes from, y'all make no mistake, where the originator, they always taken from us, family. Don't get it twisted just because he got national cameras and the African Diaspora Voters Education Board doesn't yet. Okay, cool. Well, I think y'all get that. Now, let me finish off by just correcting some of the fallacy that they put around this word anyway. I'm going to take y'all to my domain now, which is the ancient etymology. Y'all know I am an ambassador for an ancient priesthood, the Kabiru, priesthood, which literally means Black people, which actually means people of God or God's people, because Black is the color of divinity. Regardless of what these people say, they only say what they say because they only deal with this domain. They don't deal with the sacred domain, the ancient domain. They don't do that. Okay, now they'll never be able to tell you this because they don't even come over here. They don't come to this land. They don't come to this realm, to this dimension right here. I live here. So let me give y'all a thorough walkthrough of the etymology of the word Black. Okay, this is the etymology of the word Black. It is the word bolaka. The root word is laka. Okay, it means fire. It means fire or flame, light, shining, sparkle, bright, blaze. Okay, bo is a prefix. When used, it denotes the state of being or the condition of something, of whatever it precedes. So bolaka means the state of being light, fire, like burn, shining, sparkling, bright, blazing. You see what I'm saying? That's where that Proto-Germanic word blakas came from. It means the same thing. And bleh. These white folks could not speak. We taught them these words. They couldn't pronounce these words properly, people. That's why you get what you call pedagogy and elision. Basically where they take vowels and syllables out the word and they add syllables to it. You see what I'm saying? Because they were like babies trying to learn these languages. We had to teach them to them. You know what I mean? So this is where, these white folks get their etymology from. But these people over here, they only deal with the white people's etymology. They only go to Latin and German and this other. They never come here. They never come to the original languages, the royal languages that we actually use when we was in our highest societies. You see what I'm saying? They don't use those words because they don't know those words, right? Mainly because they reject anything that doesn't come from here. So if you're coming from here in Africa, like these symbols do and these words do, they will never know them. They will never know them. These are actually the oldest languages that we have on Earth. So if you want to learn about language, please don't learn about it from someone who's fixated on being stuck on this side of the line. That's just words of wisdom, people. To end it on a positive note for these brothers over here, all the indigenous tribal brothers on this side, the good thing about this right here and these two, right, where we are now, where we want to go, you see what I'm saying, is this right here is going to elevate all the indigenous statuses of people who have been dwelling here for a long time and have made progress here, considerable progress and commendable progress here. It will strengthen, this will give higher recognition to all of the nations, the indigenous nations from an American, indigenous melanated American, standpoint. You see what I'm saying? All those brothers will get a whole nother level, a whole nother boost of resources and all kinds of things from the collective community deciding to finally complete the process that the ADVEB, the African Diaspora Voters Education Board, has started and initiated for us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end it on that positive note. That's the end of the lesson. But I got one more thing to say. So, like I said, everyone who has a voice in our community, all the celebrities, all the influential people need to become members of the Voters Education Board. And what does that mean? Well, I'm going to show y'all what it actually means. If you're a celebrity, you got a viral social media page, you're a high net worth individual, high profile marketing company, radio show, TV show, popular podcast, famous magazine, popular mobile app, website with large subscribership, you are qualified to become a member, and you need to become a member because these are the type of people who have the power to get that voter registration drive nationally announced and pushed so that we got millions of people registering to vote in the first national election. Now, I had someone now I'm a member, I am a member, and I don't even got I only got like 150,000 followers on social media. So if I got a membership, I know y'all need to get y'all membership going. Now I'm gonna show you how simple it is. Ain't no board meetings, ain't none of that stuff going on. All you do is click join the board there at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? You click register here, and you just go and fill out the form. Register, first name, last name, email, the phone number, social media if you got it, upload bio if you got it, and you just check off which one are you. Are you a celebrity? You got a viral social media page? I just clicked viral social media page, you know what I'm saying? Put my social media profile in there. You know what I'm saying? Kindly elaborate on whatever you check. You know what I'm saying? If you got a popular mobile app, just elaborate right there. Create a password, and ain't no they, him, she, they, them, and all that other. It's just male and female, kind of like Trump. You know what I'm saying? And you just click sign up, and then you get approved. Your account gets approved. Now you can log in. You know what I'm saying? Now you can log in. Ain't no what you call ain't no board meetings. Let me see. Okay, you see? This is it. If you got an idea to market, and you can just put your idea right here. You just post, just make a post. It's a private social network specifically for the board members, and everyone is expected to be busy. So that's why this private social network is here. So we don't have to be having board meetings and conference calls and Zoom calls. No, you just post whatever it is that you want to do, or whatever your idea is, and other members can collaborate with you and comment on it, and you guys can plan in the comments and in posts. This whole entire social network is exclusively for people who have marketing resources or people who have voices to work together, and figure out how are we going to raise this awareness about the first national election. That's what this is for. You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling all of y'all brothers and sisters who got way more influence, quote unquote, than me, y'all need to be in here working together, figuring out how are we going to push this election? How are we going to push this out? You see what I'm saying? And there's a compensation plan in there for you. You know what I'm saying? For your services. This is noble services. Yes. Yes. And if you a big baller celebrity and all that, you got other people working your social media anyway. So have your people go make an account and get on here and figure out how are we going to push this national election to the masses so that we get millions of people to register to vote. It's all about voter registration. AdVeb is getting ready to launch the national registry and push a voter registration, and we need all the influential brothers and sisters in the community to be working together in here, to unite in here, and figure out how are we going to push the voter registration so millions of black people here in America and around the world register to vote. That is it. Y'all done it a million times for the devil, for the oppressor, and for the system that ain't done nothing but break promises, make promises to break promises. Now do it for a system that's exclusively focused on you and your people. We owe it to ourselves to come together in a big way and let the narrative read the way that it's supposed to read. You think the only time people are supposed to read about empowering narratives of black unity is when they read about the 60s and the 50s? No. They need to read about in 2024 or 2025, black people in America came together again like never before. Bigger and better than the 60s. In fact, In fact, all due respect to our ancestors, but in fact, the history's supposed to read that we came together bigger and better than and bolder and badder than ever before. That is how it's supposed to read. That's why we need all of our best people to tap in right here and become board members. It don't mean you dedicating your time and doing none of that. Literally, you're literally can just make posts on here with ideas and figure out what ways we gonna work to market, because y'all know there's a million ways to market. So this will be it'd be good if we had a million brothers and sisters up in here figuring it out. Then we'd be and man, I'm done. I'm not gonna be there. Y'all understand, y'all get what this is. So everybody else, y'all need to push all the community leaders, all the influential people, push them to be in here. In fact, we might even need to say, if y'all want our support in 2025 or for the rest of 2024, y'all better prove that you're members. Post your members. Prove to us that you are members if you want us to continue supporting. Y'all push our influential voices to become members here and do what they supposed to do as a black person, which is promote positive things for us. Give us the positive, constructive things to build us. This is exactly that. Peace. So to summarize it, family, it's losing relevance because we're no longer forced to begin within the context of American law. We can now start our journey, if we want to, within the context of international law because we're already recognized as human beings. Our status is literally already corrected. So to be honest, there's really no comparison because from one side, we're starting having to correct our status. From the other side, our status is already corrected. All we're talking about doing is organizing our evolution. What's the next level? What's after we correct our status? What do we do then? Well, that's what we're actually doing from the voters' education side, which is forming a government, a globally recognized government. We're not actually worried about status correction. Only the guys that stick within the context of America, who can't see anything else than America, they are fixated on the concept of having to correct your status because they can't see that the status has already been corrected and we have been globally accepted as human beings. We're actually on the next step of that. Of so that's the summary of why it's losing relevance, because why go through all of that if we don't have to anymore? It's 2024 going into 25. Peace.